Thanks, Dave, and welcome again today. I don't have any flowers to give out, though. But we do have some other things to give out, and that is grants that this grant committee cycled through this most recent cycle. Again, my name is Joe Weidenbach, and I have the distinct pleasure of being a trustee and the chair of the grant committee. I got to tell you that the group that that goes through and deliberates and vets and makes decisions around this every cycle. I'd like all of them who are present here today to stand, because it's a heck of a job they do. So any member of the grant committee, could you please stand? It's a fun group and a very rewarding group, I might add. In my life, probably one of the most rewarding things I've done, other than being a parent, is being involved in chairing the grant committee. So we have what's called the Community Needs Program, and it's a very competitive grant program. As you can imagine, there's more asks than there are monies to give, so we have to make tough decisions, and that's why it's rewarding, challenging, and sometimes you have to say no. But the good news is that the folks that are here today, you're part of the yes. But that's the toughest part of what we have to do. So as some of you may or may not know, the foundation considers health and human services during the spring cycle, which is this cycle, and then we do arts, culture, education, and environmental applications in the fall. And again, we're going to award health and human services grants for approximately 60% of our total community grants budget. And let me give you some perspective and size that up a little bit for you. So 60 grants in health and human services were considered, totaling about $800,000. We awarded about 50%, about 30 of those were awarded and received and bestowed today, that were funded from the general endowment, field of interest, and donor advised funds. I want to talk about the donor advised constituency too, because for this year alone, it represented almost $100,000 in terms of what we can give out. So we're giving out $426,000. Almost 25% of that is coming from donor advisors. And there's a few donor advisors in attendance who I'm going to brag on, because without them, we can't be and do what we do. They are Jim and Judy Biancalana. Jim and Judy here. Jim Heinking. Jim, I saw you there. Dan and Beth McGuire. And Jim and Ruth Ann Snodgrass. So again, I want to thank anybody who's been a part of, donated, volunteered, been engaged with the foundation over the last 30 years. It's what you do has a major impact. And speaking of which, I'm going to introduce two of the three speakers, and you're going to get some sense for what that impact has been. The first speaker I'm going to introduce is Don Smith. Don is a grandfather, and through the funding through the foundation, the DuPage Children's Museum provides 100 low-income parents with an opportunity to purchase a one-year family membership to the museum itself at a reduced cost. Don, again, being a grandfather, regularly cares for his young grandson. His daughter is a single mother. She was eligible for one of these special memberships. So Don takes his grandson to the museum and engages in a lot of the great opportunities that are there. If you haven't been there, go there. It's a terrific organization. And what a great way for you to connect with your grandson. So I do want to introduce Don and come up and say a few words.